Well. That was not what we wanted. And I think I'm going to real quickly highlight a chat that I saw at the beginning. Shout out. Let me see if I can pull it up. If my technology cooperates. He joked, we could have made that description over a half hour ago. Spoiler alert, I did make the title a half hour ago. That's how bad and how predicted I was on updating this. Newcastle United lose 3-1 at the London Stadium. Before we get into all of it with all of the guys, please hit a thumbs up. There's not much to be positive about right now, and I think you'll probably get that from our attitudes as Jacob and Nigel hop on with me. But please, we put a lot of work into this, and just hit us thumbs up if you still hate the Mackhams, which I'm pretty sure we all do. Also, consider subscribing. Consider joining the membership schemes. They start at just 99 cents, and they help us tremendously. Stay tuned later this afternoon. Hit that notification bell. You'll see all of the videos from Lee, which I have a pretty good feeling he's not going to be too pleased either, like many of you. So we'll see what his thoughts were being in the stadium. And lastly, and arguably most importantly, thank you so much to our sponsor today. And I'm going to switch screens because for some reason something's going wrong on this screen and we can't see him. But thank you to our sponsors, Ballybet. Please, I bet you if you put a tenner on West Ham winning today, you would have gotten a pretty good payout because I don't think anyone would have believed that going into the game. But if you put 10 pounds in with Bally, they'll give you 20 free pounds in bets. You can do it on football. You can do it on hockey. You can do it, I think, on F1. Anything you want, you can put on a nice little bet. Thank you to Ballybet. They've been sponsoring us for a handful of weeks now, and we greatly appreciate their support. So let's get into it, guys. Just top level. Are you as frustrated as I am? Is this just going to be an hour complain fest?
First of all, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, my friend.
Great. I've never known a team so different home and away. Like, I know we've got the green kit curse, but it's just when we're at St James's, we can beat we have the ability to beat 99% of the teams. Like, and away from home, you go to a struggling West Ham who can't buy a win, who we've won there more recently than they have, and that's how bad that is. We won there in like March, April, and then they haven't won there since like February, and it's just so frustrating seeing two completely different sides. Like, you can not guarantee on Wednesday, but on Wednesday when we're playing the Champions League, we'll be well up for it, and we'll probably steamroll at is it Athletic who we're playing?
Yeah, I think it's Bilbao.
Hasn't the away form been an issue? It's not just this season. It's not a new issue. It goes back, I think, maybe up to 2 seasons. I think under Howe.
It's never been great under Eddie, has it? And I can't really remember when he first took charge in 21-22, but I've never, even the bottom sides like West Ham, Forest, Burnley, like I wouldn't be confident in winning. It's just
I can't remember honestly the last time I remember us like absolutely steamrolling or having a comfortable win versus a bottom side. Actually, ironically, was my first game, Wolves Newcastle last January. That was the last time we played a very bottom table team. But again, that was at home. So I guess that's not a fair statement. The last one I can think of away is probably Sheffield United, the 8-0 3 seasons ago. Like, can you just real quickly, like quick fire? Can you think of any other?
We went away to Union this year in Champions League. I know it's Champions League and won that. We haven't got any challenges in the Champions League for a little while.
See, I'm going to exclude that because I will get into it. But I think there's going to be the main question of the day is: do you think it was effort, or do you think it was to an extent fatigue because of the congestions? And
I think some fatigue comes into it. I think no excuse, but we are missing probably 2 of our best/better players in Livramento and Hall. from fullback areas now, we literally offer absolutely nothing. Trippier is slightly better, but Kraft doesn't offer anything going forward. Dan Burn offers very little. Livermore and Hall are probably a couple of the best left backs in the league, and they offer so much going forward. So we are missing them players. It's unfair to judge yet. I think if we're still sort of steaming around 13th, 14th in December, then maybe we'll have panic stations. But I think around Christmas, New Year, I think we'll be in a lot better position when these players come back. And we've got Wissa to come back as well. Osuna did all right today, but if Wissa would have come off the bench today,
Sorry,
things
real
might have
quickly, I
been
want you to
different.
pull up your chats. Please disregard. I'll try to update that real quick. I didn't get to update this one. It's not a Carabao Cup game. I'll update that while we go. But sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going, Nigel.
Yeah, just saying, we are still missing 3 or 4 players. I think it's early to judge. Although we've had a very poor start, I think it's still early to judge. But away form is a massive issue. I mean, we go to Brentford next week, which are arguably better than West Ham today, and that's another massive game. And if we lose that going into 2 weeks off, then it could be a bleak 14 days or so.
We can't blame fatigue. We made like 5-6 changes from Tottenham. Like, we can't blame fatigue. Like most teams, a lot of teams play twice a week now. It's not an excuse. Like, we have the capabilities to do so, and we just looked flat. It was just lethargic. Like, just
To be fair, I think I have a point. Am I right in thinking that Bruno didn't play in the week, or if he did, it wasn't long? Tonali didn't play at all. He's had a week off. Joe Linton, did he play in the week?
Yeah, I want to say it did. I'm not sure.
Maybe, but yeah, I know Tonali's had a week off. I know he's been ill or whatever, but
Yeah, and we just looked a shadow of ourselves, and I don't. It's just away. Like we just can't get going away. Like we've had a few, a few clean sheets on the road early in the season, but we should be beating like Leeds and did well to get a point at Bournemouth. But
So are you guys? So are you guys both saying you think it's fatigue? Listen, we're going to say a lot of probably harsh things today, but I don't think any of us are going to go as far as questioning the effort of the boys. I don't think that's where any of our heads are at. But I wanted to confirm that before I kind of build on that narrative, because where I was going to go, if we're all in agreement, is this comes back to what I think we've talked about for a while, and I know it's going to almost sound polar opposite of what we talked about just 3 or so days ago. But do one of these competitions need to give? Because listen, I think all of us, if you surveyed us as fans, getting another trophy, hypothetically, say the Carabao Cup, say we happen to go back to back, that to us as fans would mean more than getting 5th in Champions League again. However, the reality of the world that we need to is, if we truly want to get to that next stage, being 5th is arguably more important than a trophy this year. Would you agree with that? Because to me, I almost feel like this is where I felt in the beginning of the season. It seems like they're almost able to motivate themselves better for these cup games. And maybe it's because they're at home. Maybe it's more simplistic than it being the cup game factor. But I already think like we almost need perfection in the league from here on out. We've now dug ourselves a hole, kind of like we did last year. And last year, fortunately, we went on that 10-game win streak. But now we almost need that if we have any prayers of getting back in the Champions League again.
I thought that was coming, like, quietly. We've won the last 3 or 4 or 5 out of 6 or whatever it is, and I thought, do you know what? We've got West Ham. It's a great opportunity to get another win. Obviously, another great opportunity on Wednesday, and then Brentford aren't exactly flying. So I thought this little run of games before the international break, I thought we could really go into the international break with a few wins under our belt, getting at least in the top half. But we've not got going. I don't know if it's fatigue or I don't know. It's definitely not FL. I've never.
Well, a lot of people in the chat are saying this, and I'll shout out Simi mentioned it. A few people mentioned it along the way, so I apologize for not getting all of you, but I'll bring this up. I think this is where it kind of starts, though. Did you guys have any complaints with this starting lineup?
I was saying in the chat, I would have personally started Share.
Where was Trippier? Are we saying Trippier
That's
was
what
injured?
I want to know. Where's
today?
Trippier?
He's ill.
He's ill. So okay, so
He's ill.
I would have said obviously Trippier would have come in for Kraft, which might have offered a bit more
Hmm.
going forward. As Kraft have a game of the week, but he doesn't offer much going forward. He doesn't. He's a solid enough player, and he's okay. We didn't have much choice going there today. I don't think other than Kraft.
I think I was happy, but I just think with Cher's performance midweek and scoring, I think he'd be on a little bit of a high as well. And I don't know. I was saying obviously in the group chat that
I
we
think
just
it's. I think we've touched on this before in previous previous chats. I think squad rotation when it comes to defenses, I don't think you can rotate your defense too much.
Mm.
You need some sort of consistency going for midfield, wingers, strikers, etc. You can do it, but defense is such a funny one.
Exactly. Defense, you can't be changing game to game. You can do clusters of 2 to 3 games. Like, you think about it. At the time, Burn and Cher were undroppable. Then something outside of the realm forced them to drop Cher. Chow came in. Then something beyond their control required them to take Burn over. Then you're bringing in Botman. Like, those kind of things, yes, they necessitate it. But I'm with you, Jacob. And I'm not saying this just in hindsight of how it went, but Botman did not look at it from minute one. And I personally, this is not saying that I don't like Botman, but I have not actually been buying into that Botman was back. Even this season, like a lot of people have been saying, this is the Botman and he's back and he's miles above Burn. To me, at center back, Dan Burn and Botman on current form are take your pick. They do different things, they offer you different things, but neither one has really stood out of, stood way ahead of them. So to me, I did not like this starting lineup. And I also, jumping ahead, if Hall is able to be on that bench, why did Hall not come on when you're chasing this game?
But I don't think we lost the game today because we didn't start Fabian Shaw. I really don't.
No, not
No,
Shar. I said
not at
Hall.
all.
Why did we not see Hall come on?
There's an issue with Hall. I think at the end of last season, I don't know, 5, 6 games at the end of last season, we were told Hall was out for the season and be back in pre-season. We're now in November, and we've seen him 10, 20 minutes this season. It's really quite strange. But we massively miss Hall. We massively miss Livramento going forward. Massively.
Yeah.
The wingers have no sort of support.
we finished the game with Joe Linton left wing. Well, yeah, Joe Linton left wing, not finished game, but like 70 to 80 minutes. Joe Linton was left wing and Bowen was left back. We're not going to get anything going forward on the left with
And
those.
this is my only critic about Howe is right. I think at the end when he was bringing Langer on, and I think we had Jacob. Do we have Jacob Murphy right back or something?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of. I don't want to fault him too much because he's done so many great things, and I won't be calling for his head anytime in the next six months or so. But like his inability to change games, I don't think he knew then how to either sort of running out of ideas and sort of scratching at the barrel, wasn't he? Because like, yeah.
He never makes many changes at half time either. When he made the triple change at half time, I was like, oh my god, like.
And I was surprised
I think
Gordon
that
was pulled.
says
I was surprised. I
something.
was really surprised about Andy Gordon being taken off.
Yeah, I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that dressing room at half time.
Now, I will pause for a second because obviously, again, there's a lot to be negative on, and for any of you guys, thank you for all of you watching. We've got 40 of you in the live. Please, if you haven't already, take a quick moment, hit that thumbs up. It's easy to forget while you're listening to this awesome banter. But I think let's make it very clear, especially for anyone who might be new here. We're not saying that. Sorry, I apologize. Did I just freeze there?
Yeah.
I might have a couple freezes. My normal internet is down, so I'm having to use my hotspot data. It's been pretty reliable, but it's a short-term problem. I'll have it fixed by next time. But anyways, hopefully we won't have too many of those. Anyways, what I was going to say is I think our criticism, and please speak up if you guys disagree with me, all of our criticism is about today. I don't think any one of us is saying, that's it, I never want to see this guy wear the black and white again. That's it, Eddie's an absolute idiot. I mean, it just, today was abysmal. It looked bad. I mean, I think I can say one player positive things about, maybe two. as was holistically more of a positive than a negative, and that was Malik Chow. With again, I mean, I thought that was a Stonewall pen, and then they slowed that down and like Cinderella with her toes, just sliding that right out from under. I mean, insane filth that because again, that's all happen. I mean, I know there's an element of that's just luck. It's not like he's just doing what he would do anytime, but still, to see that sometimes those things that we see it at full speed and then in what all he did to get that is impressive. The second person I think who deserves a shout out is Jacob Murphy. I mean, Jacob Murphy almost put in a couple against the run of play in the beginning when we really didn't deserve it. But other than that, I think everyone else absolutely should walk off and should feel absolutely ashamed of what they put in today. Whether it was because they were tired or not, it was not good enough.
Even when we scored, like we were just under the cosh a bit. Like they hit the post 26 seconds before, and you think, oh God, they look up for it today. So yeah, we never really, even at 1-0, 1-1, we were getting battered. We were getting battered all game, and other than the goal, we never really looked like scoring.
There was like a 10-minute stretch in that beginning where it was at least 50-50.
Yeah,
it was a little bit end to end, but then pretty much from the 20th minute on, absolute dross.
It's like Nigel says. I'm surprised we took Gordon off at half time. Like unless he's got a niggle, you don't know. But yeah, I agree with Voltamana coming off. I think we needed a little bit more mobility up front.
He doesn't perform away from home. I know he had the goal against Brighton, but he just doesn't look half the player away from him than he is at home.
The only thing I would say for Voltamata is maybe it's away, but I also think we are having to rely on him a lot. And I wonder if when you're at home, you can get that extra 10% of energy just by the crowd's energy. But I think, listen, we got to be realistic. He's started how many straight now? I mean, I was actually really surprised to see him start against Spurs. I think in hindsight,
definitely.
In hindsight, I think Asula should have started
that. Totally agree with that.
To me, Voltamata, we needed full Voltamata for the Premier League. Like at this point, we cannot drop any points in the Premier League. Like if we want anything for next year, the rest of the season pretty much needs to be perfection.
We need to go on a good run. I think from now to Christmas. I think we got Brentford next league match, and we got Man City maybe on the 22nd or something, which is the sort of game that will absolutely batter them and probably lose like 2-1 or something. But it's just the most Newcastle thing ever, isn't it? Isn't it really?
Well, with the subs at half time, do you think he had one eye on Wednesday?
Yeah, maybe.
We're playing twice.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't really think, in terms of the Carabao Cup stuff and the Champions League thing, I don't really think we can fault them much. Maybe the Barcelona home performance if we're being picky, but like in terms of the cups, we're
I want to shout out
on.
Torio real quick. Welcome, Torio. Don't recognize your name. Sorry if you've been here before and I haven't noticed it, but welcome. Thanks for joining us. Torio calls out a couple people. Pope, which I agree. As much as I am probably the resident Pope lover, as you can see in the last show, I kind of said that. I put some digs at Ram. Not digs at Rams.
Should he? I don't know what you think. Should he have done better for the Paqueta goal?
Yeah,
he should have caught the ball before that.
Yeah,
he should. Listen. I don't begrudge him being beat on the goal. That was just. I mean, listen. Maybe should he have gotten it? Yes, but I also think there's an element of sometimes when it's from that far and that much power, there's just that little bit of magic that can happen. But to me was unexcusable was not catching it. But the big one I wanted to talk about, because to me, like, what is going on with Anthony Gordon? Like, one day he can look like he's fine, and the net, like, at what point do we actually start to question? Because there's something going on there, like, and I'm starting to get to the point where do we maybe cut our losses and try and cash in on him? Because
when I think we had an issue, some before last, we had some PSR issues. I think his head was turned. I genuinely think his head was turned by Liverpool. He has been it's inconsistency. Um,
He just seems to turn up when he fancies it. He's not.
pretty
He's not.
Exactly.
much, pretty much. Which hit him in his Champions League,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is obviously the shop window for the whole of Europe, isn't it?
Exactly. He'll probably get an hat-trick on Wednesday.
And listen, I'm not gonna like be mad at him. Like listen, if we get good money for him, I'll wish him all the best because he still has given us stuff. Like I'm not sitting here like trying to say he's Isak 2.0. Let's get our pitchforks out. Let's get our torches. But I just think it is clear that something is not clicking.
We bought him
like
for
it did 2 years.
we bought him 40 million 3 years ago. Well, nearly 3 years ago in January. Is he an 80 million pound player? Is he a 90 million pound? Like, because what's a good offer for Anthony
If
Gordon in January?
Anthony Elanga is what he cost, then surely Gordon is at 80. I think 80
I'm
is
not sure.
probably
I probably strongly disagree because I think 80, 90 million players turn up most weeks and probably 7, 8 out of 10. And Gordon just doesn't do that. He just doesn't do that. It's 1, 9, and 10, and then it's like a 5 or 4, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got another 5 years on his deal as well, so it probably will be.
Excellent news. Excellent news.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, I guess, instead of going on a massive rant on everyone, who were you most disappointed in?
Cool. Difficult.
Probably Pope because I
I'm,
think
I'm
Pope,
not. I'm not really disappointed with Pope because I think he's always got that sort of performance in him. Like he always has.
yeah,
He always
true.
has.
It's just he couldn't catch a cold today, like all game as well. Even for the third game, he just trickled under him and then bang 3-1. But he has got that in him, like you say. So am I disappointed, or is that maybe his standard? Not his normal, but you know, it's hard.
Where do we see? Where do we see Joe Linton in this? Do we think he's undroppable?
No,
Like Willock had quite a good
No.
game in the week.
That was the other lineup thing. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't like. To me, this had West Ham sitting back all over it to me. So Joe Linton is not breaking down teams.
no,
Jacob Ramsey,
yeah.
I'm not saying that he would break down teams, but there's a better chance of him breaking down a team than that. You need that creativity. I'd even argue you need a Willock creativity because I don't think you needed the defensive resoluteness in midfield today
No.
that Joe Linton and those guys give you. To me, Ramsey should have started today, and then Joe should have been used against Bilbao.
I'm going to sound really controversial now, and maybe it is too early to say it. And if he goes on to have an amazing second half of the season, then I'll be the first to apologise to him live on here. But I think Ramsey was a really poor signing.
That's a hot one. That's a hot tamale there.
Oh.
I like Ramsey too. I mean,
I've not seen anything. I've not
you.
seen anything from him that convinced me that the money we paid for him is up to it. Yes, he's come back from injury and stuff, but when do we stop that? Maybe he needs to run in the side. I think Howe likes Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton. I think maybe certainly the first two, as in Bruno and Tonali, are probably undroppable, but Joelinton is definitely not undroppable. I think maybe.
I think the fact that Bruno and Tonali aren't the biggest, I think he likes someone, 6'2", 6'3" in there with them as well. So I think he'd be a little bit reluctant to play Ramsey in there from the start with Tonali and Bruno because it's not a huge midfield. But
I don't think they had an overly huge midfield.
what did we like?
Would we say Miley's ahead of Joelinton? Not Joelinton, sorry. Would we say Miley's ahead of Ramsey in the pecking order?
No.
I think
You
it's
don't think because he didn't he play the previous 2 games before this?
It's quite close, but I think part of that was Nigel because Ramsey was still coming back from his knock.
Maybe I'm judging too early, but I've just not seen anything from Ramsey. He was like, wow, what a player.
He seems to bring Ramsey on, but start Miley and not.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
I think Miley's become the Sandro replacement. Ramsey is not. So the games that Miley has started, Miley's been playing in place of Sandro. So I think it's just where he envisions them as part of the three. But it's just I do get what you're saying, Nigel, and I would not say that we've seen anything. If we see this for Jacob Ramsey for the rest of the season, then I would start to worry maybe it wasn't as good. But I still am holding out that we will see something from him. It's just not everyone comes in and hits the ground running. I mean, same with Alanga. As much as Alanga yet again offered nothing, I'm not giving up on Alanga because.
I'm not giving up on him, but he's. It's just
But Murphy
it's
needs to
that final
start
ball,
over.
final finish. I think Murphy's probably the most underrated player in the Premier League. I really do.
I'm starting to get there now. I used to, I honestly thought it was a purple patch. Now I'm starting to think, okay, maybe we just didn't appreciate what we had. But I think for me, the most disappointing was either Bruno or Sven. I mean, and again, Bruno has those every once in a while, but Bruno was giving away so many balls trying to take me
Bruno and
out.
Tonali had no excuse today. I think Bruno bar 20 minutes in the week, maybe 25 minutes in the week. He's had a free week. Tonali's had a free week, puking up or whatever. So there's no excuse for them to today. The rest you could maybe argue, but
Do you think he'll start Joelinton on Wednesday as well, or do you think he'll go Ramsey or Miley?
yeah, you could possibly see him putting Bruno on the bench, couldn't you, on Wednesday?
See, I don't even know what to go. I mean, as much as I would say Bruno put in a droppable performance, he's still the captain.
Bruno's
He's not undroppable. It proved. I think it was against Bournemouth away. I think Eddie Howe dropped him, which was like wow, which ended like a massive Premier League run, didn't it, for Bruno?
Because of his travel back from Asia, or am I misremembering that?
Yeah, because Joelinton didn't play, did he?
I can't remember. I might be misremembering. I think, and that's Brighton actually was when they came back from their Asia internationals. But listen, I don't want to get too overreactive in general of like what this means for the broader spectrum. But I will say, to me, the one bold prediction I'll say is I think losing this game today means we have a slim to none chance of making Champions League next year.
Disagree. We lost to I think we lost to Brentford around November last season. It might have been a bit later in November. It was quite. I remember Lee's video actually on it. It's 4. Yeah, Lee was actually questioning Howe's future. I think it was 4 or 5. I think Wister scored a couple, and we weren't in a great position. And from that position, we went on an amazing run and ended up qualifying for Champions League and winning the League Cup. So I just think it's way too early to judge. But you're right. From where we are now,
we
league
made
forming,
it into
it
the
is an
Champions
uphill.
League
It is an uphill
last year,
challenge,
Nigel, because Man United gave us the most miraculous saves ever. I mean, we put in absolute honking performances at the end and just barely made it in last year by the skin of our teeth. We cannot expect that luck again.
Well, we'll get 3 points off Man United at Christmas, so that'd be nice. But
honestly, are we? Like, I'm not even confident that we're. Listen. I think we're getting. I'm gonna say it. I think we're getting absolutely schlacked by the Mackhams in December.
No. I disagree.
Big derby's different, isn't it? I don't know. It just is. Like,
it is different. I get it. It's a one-off game, and anything can happen. But at the same time, the way we are playing, like, get used to looking up at them. I don't think we're going to be. I'm going to
ask you to a difficult. I'm going to ask you to a different question. Difficult question. My answer to the question is no already. Do you two have any doubt on Eddie Howe?
No.
I see a lot of people.
We're all in agreement with that. Then that's good. That's good.
Definitely.
No, to me, I blame. I think it was a poor performance, and I'm going to say, I think it was more of a mindset in that I don't think we're getting up for these games that aren't sexy fixtures. And that's why.
Yeah, but we've got to remember our bread and butter. The great thing is, the season about last season is you can't be long with Newcastle for long this season because we're playing again in like 2 days. After tomorrow will be a bit shit, but when Tuesday comes, you'll be like, yeah, you know what, we're playing again tomorrow night. Whereas the weeks aren't as long. You know, if we weren't playing for another 7 days, that is a long week in there after Newcastle loss.
But what I think will happen, I think we'll win on Wednesday and then go and draw or lose on Saturday, and then the international
Yeah.
pressing. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
If we win on Wednesday, I think we're almost there with automatic qualification for the Champions League anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. If we win one more in the Champions League, there's almost an element of I'm probably in the minority. I'm willing to sacrifice some Champions League games because to me, getting back there is more important. Again, I fully recognize as fans, I'd much rather see them win a trophy.
I almost put it early in the group chat. I didn't want to sound silly, but could we win the Champions League?
I was going to say that.
No.
Is that a route back in?
No. I mean, is it possible? Of course it's possible.
Look, Leicester won the league and they were 5,000 to 1. Stranger things have happened.
Listen, exactly. Stranger things have happened. I don't think it's happening, but
if we get out of the group stage and we get a lucky draw or two, and we get a second leg at home, you just never know how far we could go. Quarter, semi, something like that.
I think I know the answer. Would you take finishing 20th in the league and winning the Champions League?
That's a tough question. I probably would.
I would.
And then we'd be playing like Champions League. We're playing Champions League again in the Championship.
Yeah. We're playing like, I don't know, Preston one week and then Real Madrid next week.
Yeah.
So lots of people putting in the chat, and I know sometimes it's the potentially vocal minority, but credit, I want to give them their a lot of people questioning Eddie, thinking maybe we're not being critical enough of Eddie. He's showing no plan B, Dan says. Let me look through a couple of the other comments. Scott is saying we're making excuses for the starting 11. That's not why we lost. So I'm assuming he's implying that it was because of Eddie. Tarasius is saying we need a new coach. I mean, are we letting him off easy? I would say no. I don't think any of us are going to say that
what he's achieved before. For me, by like he's been there. He's been there. I think his 4th year anniversary might be coming up this next week. Actually, so two seasons of Champions League football, 1 League Cup win, better cup performances consistently, other than the FA Cup. I would say the bloke can walk across the River Tyne. He's got more than enough time to finish this. In May, we will not be where we are now. In May, we will be top 7 or 8 at least top 7 or 8, and we will do well in cup competitions as well. So no, he's got that time. He's bought that sort of time, and I don't think it's too lenient on him. I really don't. I think he's the best manager since Sir Bobby Robson, without a doubt.
He could finish 17th, and I would not sack him.
Probably right.
He's got
the bloke's got the freedom in Newcastle, hasn't he?
If we finish 17th in the league this year, hypothetically, I think he'd come in and all of his credit would have been used. So he would have a very short leash.
We will not finish 17th this season.
No, I'm not saying that we would. I'm just saying in this hypothetical that we don't believe. I would say, yes, I'd agree with you, Jacob. I wouldn't fire him, but he would be basically have exhausted his credit to the bank, and we'd be looking at him with no, biases or credit.
Although league position won't say, we are in a better position now than Man United and Tottenham. Without a shadow of a doubt. We might be 14th.
I think we're right now on current form. I disagree with you. I think we're in the same place.
Because Man United have only got Man United in the Premier League and the FA Cup, maybe. Tottenham are out of the League Cup. Okay, doing all right in Europe, but not amazing.
But what I mean by that, Nigel, is look at Spurs. They're being classic Spursy. One game they'll look really good. The next game they won't. That's what we look like.
Yeah, pretty much.
We can't, as much as I think we all back us to turn it around, we got to call a spade. And right now, we're inconsistent as fuck. Like, excuse my French,
As
but
much
it's
as I'd like to call us an elite team, we're not an elite team yet.
we're
Any
nowhere
any
close to
elite
it.
team today would have gone and dismantled West Ham and won by 4 or 5-0 without a doubt.
What did I put into the chat? After we scored that goal that we did not deserve, I said that should be all we need to now absolutely walk a team with no confidence. And from that point, we looked like pretty much absolute crap.
It was the recipe for just to put them to bed. You go 1-0 up against a struggling side. They have literally just hit the post 26 seconds before.
Yeah.
They think, oh God, here we go again. And
Yeah.
3, 4, 5,
Exactly.
6. You don't just go and lay over and then credit to West Ham, they were good, but it's nowhere near good enough.
But the last thing I wanted to say about the coach thing, why I don't blame Eddie personally is, does any of us honestly think that Eddie's game plan was to go out and play like that? I don't think that would ever be an Eddie game plan. So if we agree on that, then to me, that's a player execution issue, not a game plan issue.
It wouldn't have made a triple change if that was the case. Like, he clearly wasn't happy, and rightly so. But yeah, maybe it's like you say, an execution issue. But I think Dan mentioned in the chat, like, we have a plan A 4-3-3, but after that,
we kind of have the 5 at the back. That's okay-ish.
Could we see possibly when Wissa comes back into the fold? Could we see a partnership forming between Wissa and Voldemort? Is that a possibility?
I think it's possible because Voldemort played in a striking pair last year at Stuttgart. So
it's just what formation are you then playing to accommodate that?
You'd probably drop Joe Linton, wouldn't you?
What, and play sort of 4-4-2 almost?
Yeah, you'd have to. You can't drop any wingers, so Sandro and Bruno have to start. So who else is it?
It's today's example.
I think you can drop a winger. I think.
But then someone's
none of our wingers. Jacob Murphy has been the best winger on the team this season. He's the only one that I would be like,
don't drop Murphy. Murphy's undroppable. It's for me. Murphy's first choice on the right wing for the foreseeable future.
Dropping Gordon, albeit it would be a bold decision, on his performances would be merited. Barnes, in and out. Alanga, in and out. So, to me, I think if you dropped, say, Gordon, you keep Murphy in your 4, because we've seen him play as far back as a right wing back. So why couldn't he play back in a?
But that was how running out of ideas today, Murphy.
No, I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about in general. We've seen Murphy drop back.
Yeah, we have, and he is versatile. He is versatile for sure.
I'm not saying that it's the answer, but he can put in a shift. So my point being is if we could see him there, then why not? I mean, the other crazy thing is, Lewis Hall has played left mid at points in his career, not for Newcastle, but Lewis Hall has played left mid for chunks of his career.
And he could play there, but in terms of backup to left back, we literally have nothing. We have nothing at all. We have Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier. We have nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you'd lose Hall at left back, and as we saw today in the past few weeks, like, Burns a really good defender. He's good at set pieces and stuff, but you just on the ball, it's so predictable. Like, received.
He's not a fullback.
He's not.
He's just like, I'm not even gonna say his like footballing IQ. It's just he's not a fullback. He is a center back, and I will hold back a little bit on my vitriol on him just because I don't think he's there because he wants to. I don't think Eddie's putting him there because he wants him. He's putting him there because he literally has no other choice right now.
There was a time last season where Hall was fit and he was still picking Burn. So I don't think he hates Burn there.
Yeah, but he loves Eddie Howe. Seems to have fascination with Burn. He obviously trusts the bloke. I get that, but a fascination with Burn. And I do think when we got all defenders fair, it's a back 4 of Livramento, Chow, Botman, and Hall, without a doubt.
I'm still not sure on Botman,
Thank you all for watching. Real quick,
who do we have instead then? Burn or Shaw? Or do we replace him, Botman?
I just think in midweek, I think Chow and Cher looked perfect.
But Cher will maybe be the answer for next 1-2 seasons, but he's not the answer for the next 4 or 5 years.
No, of course. His contract expires next year. Well, next year, doesn't it? So
he'll probably get another year. I would imagine he'll get another year.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's definitely a topic of interest.
Do you think Jamal Lascelles now is completely out of the picture? Because he's not even getting on the bench now.
Yes,
Is he as well, is he?
I think he's
31.
out of the
He's
picture.
not even out of his prime. He's 31. Like that's a prime for a centre half.
Yeah.
Who? Shaw?
No, Lascelles.
Lascelles, yeah.
Real quick, guys. Sorry, I lost track a little bit. Shout out Ballybet. Thank you again for them sponsoring us. Again, £10, you get 20 free pounds in free bets. So let's get that going. If you haven't tried them out already, make sure you scan that QR code. There's also a link in the description you can click as well. Make sure you're 18 plus. T's and C's apply. Be gamble aware. Thank you again to Ballybet for being a sponsor of Newcastle Fans TV. Also, don't forget to check out all of Lee's videos later today. So have that notification bell clicked. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And lastly, check out all of our sister channels. There should be some content coming up later for the lasses if you also follow them, and some more videos indeed. So back to the game. Let's look forward. I think we've made our frustrations perfectly clear. I'm not even going to say what do we need to see at Bilbao, because I think Bilbao in itself is almost going to kind of take care of itself. So let me just look. When is our next away game, and who is our next away?
I think
because what do we need to do for that
PSV at
next
home as
away
well.
game?
We got PSV at home. Bilbao, PSV, Leverkusen away,
So
Marseille
we
away,
got
and PSG
Brentford
away.
next weekend away. What do we need to do to right the wrongs of today?
Win. Scrappy 1-0.
Start horrible.
Anything. Win.
See, I think we're past the scrappy phase. That was what I saw when we beat Fulham last week. That's what I saw in some of those other games when we got things that we arguably didn't deserve. I want to start seeing us look like we deserve to win shit. And that's the reason why I'm starting to lose hope.
I know, but with the away form as it is, I would take a scrappy 1-0 now.
No, for sure. We said it on Wednesday. A win is a win. And at the end of the day, no matter how it comes, that's all that matters, especially in the cup. But the problem is if we keep winning and getting points when it doesn't look like we per se deserved it, eventually that luck is going to turn. And that's the only reason why I'm saying we need to start seeing performances that look like we deserve to win. Otherwise, I'm not convinced that we've actually solved the problem.
Do you both think we need to look at January and possibly recruiting if we can within an FFP and PSR regulations? Can we do that? And secondly, where are we looking at if we do need that?
We need a right back and a
two
left back.
fullbacks.
Yeah.
Right back.
Trippier's 34. He'll this season or next season. I think he'll leave.
And no offense to Kraft, I think Kraft showed that he is not good enough to be a second. He's like a 2.5.
It's strange because on Wednesday.
No, because on Wednesday he had a good game, didn't he?
Yeah, I was singing his praises like he's the perfect backup right back. You know, he's happy to be second choice and he's decent. Like you don't get that very often. So, but when he came in today, he just don't know. He looked shadowy.
That's why I'm saying he's like a 2.5.
2 games. To be fair, two games a week when you're not been playing at all is.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sure, yeah. But I'm just saying. I think an upgrade is possible. And if we want to go, I don't think, no disrespect to Emil Kraft, that Man City would be bringing on anyone of Emil Kraft caliber, even at second. I don't think Liverpool would be bringing someone of Emil Kraft as their second. So
I would argue winger as well. I think Barnes.
I think you almost.
But I don't know if you do that in January or not, or maybe wait till the summer for that.
I think you can't do a winger unless you're selling a winger.
Yeah, we haven't really got there.
Yeah, I think left back's top priority. We need a left back.
Lewis Hall, but he's not fit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, you mean backup? Maybe a versatile left back,
even to complement Hall or challenge Hall. So Hall's only 19, 20. Like he's not the finished. I know he's very good, but he's not the finished article. We need someone that's talented that
which
isn't.
makes it even more scary, right?
Exactly. So
Is there anyone in January that you would sell?
Lascelles, Jamal Lascelles.
Yeah, when's his contract up?
He's just eating that wages now, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with, but is there anyone that's maybe a bit more
You won't get
controversial that you would sell, or not really? Like,
Possibly,
would you sell
possibly
Joe
Willock, but he's still off for something on Wednesday.
Oh, 1-1, Bournemouth. I wouldn't hate selling Willock.
Osula was sorted out at the end of the deadline day, but
I think Willock's the only one we could sell that we could actually get decent money to kind of try and reinvest.
Would you keep Willock and get a really good loan deal for Millie, maybe?
For who, sorry?
For Miley?
Lewis Miley. Like, just to go away, get some first team football, maybe Premier League level, sort of lower Premier League level, like Burnley or Leeds or someone like that.
I think we need 6. I don't think 5's enough.
I don't think I would either, just because he's the only one that's shown can play 6 or play the deep role like Tonali. I mean, granted, we've only seen Miley do it twice, but I think he's done the job decent when he's filled in for Tonali. Actually, I think he's done it in 3 games. But to me, I'd be more inclined to loan out Willock, hope that Willock has a blinder, and then you could get a couple extra pounds on him in the summer.
Yeah, he's got a year and a half left, Willock. So I think you probably get 15 maybe for Willock.
Yeah, you're not recruiting what we paid for him going back 5 years. I think now 5, 6 years.
I think if you lose Miley for a season, then obviously Sandro plays as a 6. If the backup to Sandro is then probably Bruno, and then you lose Bruno higher up. So I think the depth there is minimal if you lose Louis for a season.
And if you lose Bruno,
I don't know our PSR FFP movements in January, so we might not even be able to do anything anyway.
You don't know.
And the other problem you have there, Jacob, is if Bruno, then you lose him at right mid, then you lose Miley at right mid, because that's where Miley usually played if he wasn't playing deep. Yeah. So then you're like double shooting yourself with a problem. Yeah. I think if any of the midfielders go, then midfielder also needs to come in.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
So, but to me, I think our fullback situation is the most important.
It is, yeah.
Because some people say about another striker. I think a striker would be needless, especially considering how Voltemata has performed. And once we get Vissa back, I think those two are stable enough. Plus, you throw in the wild card of Asula. I think that's good enough for the next 10 months. The only thing is, there were rumors. If Frankfurt came back in for Will Asula, would you want that deal again? Supposedly 30 million?
Yeah. 30 million, like hands off at that, I think. There's a player in him somewhere, but I just don't see it at the minute.
I just don't think we'll be the one that will be able to give him the time to find it. Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
No, it depends on how Vissa and Voltemata are firing at the time. I don't think Vissa will be up to full fitness because we might go to AFCON, we don't know, so we might not even be here. So I don't think.
Yeah, that's about right. It'll go to AFCON Nations and then get injured and be out for a season or something.
Yeah,
that's just our luck all over, isn't it?
Knowing well spent. But it depends on the situation, doesn't it? If they're both firing, I think 30 million I'd snap my hand off, but I think a loan at his age would probably be better. But I wouldn't take like 10, 15 million for him because what's the point?
But is Osula first choice in, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years? Do we see him as where does he fit into the picture?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's like one of them ones, isn't it? Does he?
I see a player in there. I always have, but it's time to apply yourself. Like it's annoying. I thought he was quite poor today when he came on. I didn't think he'd.
Yeah. By the way, that's a real long time for him to be brought on in a Premier League match. Yeah. Normally he gets 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, I thought, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's one of those. I think it depends on the situation at the time.
Yeah. People in the chat, thank you. I see a couple of names not recognizing. TYG's kind of sticking up for Dan Burn a little bit at left back. Listen, I think we would all agree if you need to do it for 1-2 games, he is capable. There is a way to make it work in a pinch, but the reality is we shouldn't be expecting that to be the norm. And I fully agree with you, A2. I absolutely livid with that performance. I mean, the only silver lining to this I keep saying is that I do not live in the Northeast personally, because I feel like if you guys are in the Northeast, I bet you your Sunderland mates are absolutely giving it to you every week right now, and it's probably a living nightmare. But anyways, yeah, I just frustrating performance. So, final question. We'll keep it. I'll do 2 more. I'll do one tough one, and then we'll try to end on a positive note because we've been kind of negative for a bit, and it's understandable. But the potentially tough and negative question is, honestly, where do you think we finish at the end of the season in the Premier League table?
It's hard to predict after 10 games out of 38, but if I had to say now, I think we'd be lucky to get 7th.
Is it really only 10? It feels like I feel like that meme of the lady from Titanic right now. It's been 94 years. I feel like the season has already been going on forever.
I think if we get any sort of Europe next year, I think that'd be good. But it's like Nigel says, it's a long season, isn't it? You don't know who's going to get injured, who's not, who's going to stay fit. Yeah, I think we'll be.
Yeah, obviously there's intangibles, but to me, I think we look like a Europa League team at best, right?
I think I'd like to say 4th, but I think realistically probably 6th, and some good cup runs in there. If not another cup win.
Yeah.
There's a good one. Would you be happy if we don't get to champs again, but we did get another trophy and we were, say, Europa League or Conference League?
I'm picky. I'm really picky, but I would love to win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Would love to win the FA Cup.
I think the FA Cup.
So in general, if we won a cup and made it into Europe,
that's a good season. That's an unbelievable season.
Yeah,
I will agree with you there. If we win another cup and we get at least back into Europe, I'd still be relatively content with that. The only thing I worry is, do you maybe risk losing a Tonali?
I think questions will be asked every summer when you got players like that.
Oh, for sure.
I think if we lost Tonali, it'd be for a hefty fee because he's got another 4 years left.
True.
So that'd be anything less than 100 million. I'd be like, no chance.
I don't see Tonali going in the next.
No, I don't.
If not 3, just because of the gambling stuff, and we had,
Yeah, I agree with you. We probably get him at least another year, but I do worry sometimes. Just after, I mean, because honestly, I don't know if you guys knew. You maybe have seen it in some videos I mentioned on the channel, but I had a coworker that I literally made a bet with about a week before everything blew up with Isak, saying Isak is never leaving this summer. So I was thoroughly confident of that, and I think we all were until.
I think the only one you can really trust, if you can trust any modern day footballer not leaving, is probably Bruno.
Oh yeah, at this point, I feel like Bruno will never leave the Northeast again in his life. I mean, almost, but
the day Bruno or Tonali leave, I think I'll cry.
Oh yeah.
Players come and go, don't they? Newcastle United always remain.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might be a tricky one. I'll task you to, is there any silver linings we can take from today?
No.
No.
Literally.
Fair enough.
I'm desperate to find one, Josh, but
Jacob Murphy's strike.
Yeah, he's got that in him though, hasn't he?
That's not unusual for Murphy. That's pretty much in his blocker.
You see them go wide a lot, but
I always think he's taking it too wide, and then he does that.
Yeah, bang.
Yeah.
Other than that, Wilson looked good. I mean, it's not good for us, but I thought he played well against us. Surprised he didn't score, to be fair. But yeah. Paquetá, Lucas Paquetá, I hate it.
Yeah. I definitely think it was a tough day at the office. I think we just got to move on, take it what it is,
Yeah.
try and enjoy what's left of our weekends, and we'll be back at it midweek for Bilbao. I will talk with Joe. I don't know if Joe will be able to host it in my absence. I definitely will not be available this week for the game.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. All kinds of content coming your way the rest of the weekend. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you all for joining us. It's been much appreciated. I see you guys in the background. Try to shout out some comments here and there. If you want to guarantee your comments read out, please feel free to give us a super chat. It means a lot to us as well. Also, please check out our sponsors. As I've said, they've got a great offer for us. £10 bet. You get £20 in free bets. You can put that on whatever you like. Please just make sure you're 18 plus. Be gamble aware. T's and C's apply. Thank you again to my friends Jacob and Nigel joining me after a more frustrating day in the office. But hey, these are going to happen sometimes. All we can do is turn up tomorrow and try again. Thank you again, guys. Thank you to all in Chatland, and we will talk to you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Away the lads.